It's your chance to be ruthless.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be...
Have you ever thought about like how much time we all spend watching people online? Like you watch them for hours and hours.
Yeah.
And you kind of start to feel like you really know them, right? But do we really? I mean, how much is actually real? Today, we're going to find out. We're doing a deep dive, trying to go beyond just what we see on the surface. We're going to try to get the real story, the stuff behind the screens, behind the filters, behind the perfectly curated posts.
That's exactly it. We're going deep today into the world of someone you probably already know, at least by name or by face. Cassidy Lee Nelson. But you probably know her as just Kass.
That's Kass, right? She's everywhere. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. She's even got her own clothing line.
Yeah.
So she's this huge creator, entrepreneur, social media personality. And we've done our homework for this one.
Oh yeah, we've gone deep, like really deep.
We've looked at all sorts of stuff to try and figure out what her story really is.
Yeah.
Not just the, the public-facing version, but the real deal.
The origin story.
Exactly. Okay, so I guess we should start at the beginning. Who is Kass Parker?
Well, let's go back to before she was Kass Parker. She was born Cassidy Lee Nelson on March 25th, 1999. So that makes her American. But here's the thing. Are you ready for this?
I think so. Hit me.
She is one of 16 siblings.
16. Wow. That's a lot of siblings. Like, just imagine growing up in a house with that many people. The noise, the chaos, the constant competition for, the bathroom. I mean, that has to shape who you are, right? I wonder how that kind of environment, the huge family dynamic, influenced her perspective.
Yeah.
And, the kind of content she creates and puts out into the world. It's definitely not your average upbringing.
You're absolutely right. That kind of family dynamic is bound to shape you in all sorts of ways. I mean, just think about the constant collaboration, the need to be heard, the importance of family. So how does this translate to her online world? Well, she's best known for her YouTube channel, her personal channel, Just Kass, which, get this, she launched way back in 2012.
2012. That's like the stone age of YouTube. Back when, I don't know, people were still figuring out what HD meant. She was an early adopter for sure. That must have given her a huge head start in building a following.
Totally. She was definitely ahead of the curve. And it's paid off big time.
Oh yeah. Her channel has over 4.3 million subscribers. And get this, over 3.7 billion with a B views. That's insane. I mean, that's a level of engagement most creators can only dream of. What was it about her early content that connected with so many people?
In the beginning, her content was all about DIY fashion. Think makeup tutorials, nail art, and general lifestyle vlogs. It was a smart move, really. It tapped into this massive and at the time somewhat untapped audience on YouTube who were looking for accessible and relatable creators who could give them practical tips and share their personal style. And back then, the YouTube landscape wasn't nearly as saturated as it is now.
So she was kind of like a pioneer in a way. But she didn't just stick to her personal channel, did she? A lot of people also know her from the Not Enough Nelsons channel, which, given her background, makes total sense.
Totally. It's like her real life just naturally became content. The Not Enough Nelsons channel is all about their family life. It's a whole different vibe from her personal channel. You've got vlogs of their daily activities, skits, challenges, dance videos, all of them featuring her parents, and you guessed it, all her siblings. They really lean into that whole family-centered content style that's become so popular online.
It's a smart move, and it plays to her strengths. Coming from such a big family, that kind of content feels authentic to her. It's not forced. It's like she's bringing her offline world online. Which honestly is probably why it's resonated with so many viewers.
But hold on, she didn't stop at YouTube, right?
Definitely not. She also jumped on the TikTok train early on, and she's got a massive following there too. Over 4.9 million followers on TikTok. That's wild.
She is everywhere. So how's her TikTok different from her YouTube stuff? Well, it's a lot more fast-paced and bite-sized, perfectly suited for the TikTok crowd. She focuses on things like quick beauty tips, fashion hauls, showing off her latest clothing finds, and just little snippets of her daily life. It's interesting to see how she tailors her content to fit each platform and cater to those different audiences. She's definitely not a one-size-fits-all kind of creator.
That's smart. She's playing the algorithm game like a pro. But she didn't just stop at creating videos, right? I mean, we mentioned earlier that she's also a businesswoman. Tell me about that side of her.
Ah, yes, the entrepreneurial side of Just Kass. So she and her husband, Josh Parker, co-founded the Just Kass shop.
The Just Kass shop.
Yep. It's her own clothing brand, which is pretty impressive when you think about it. She went from just showing fashion in her videos to actually designing and selling her own clothes. It shows real business savvy, and it's definitely a smart way to leverage her audience and build something that lasts.
It's a great example of how creators can diversify their income streams and, turn their passion into a full-blown business. Okay, so we've talked about who she is, what she does. Now let's talk about when she really started to gain traction. Was it an overnight success story, or was it more of a slow and steady climb?
Well, she first dipped her toes into the online world with her personal YouTube channel back in 2012. But it seems like things really took off around 2018.
2018, okay.
And it seems like a lot of that growth coincided with the rising popularity of the Not Enough Nelsons channel. Family vlogging was really starting to blow up around then, and it makes sense. People love getting a glimpse into other people's lives, especially when those lives are filled with, big families and all the craziness that comes with that. It offers a sense of community, this almost vicarious experience of large family life, even if you're an only child sitting alone in your apartment.
It's like a reality show, but real. And, it's not just about having a big family. To maintain that level of growth and engagement over time, she must be doing something right. I mean, it's not easy to keep millions of people coming back for more year after year.
No, not at all. It takes a lot of hard work and consistency, and she's definitely got that down. She's constantly creating content across all her platforms, her personal channel, the family channel, TikTok. It's a nonstop content machine. But beyond just the quantity, I think what really sets her apart is her ability to connect with her viewers on a personal level. She makes them feel like they're a part of her life, her journey. And that's huge.
It's about building a relationship with your audience.
Exactly. It's about building a community. And she's done an amazing job of fostering that sense of belonging, which is why I think she's been able to stay so relevant and influential in such a competitive online space.
So from those early days in 2012 to that big surge in popularity around 2018, that brings us to the present. Where is she now? What's she focusing on these days?
Well, as we've discussed, she's still very active in the content creation game. Her YouTube channels and TikTok are constantly being updated with fresh content. She's definitely not slowing down.
She's got to keep that algorithm happy.
Exactly. But there's also been some pretty major personal news recently that her followers have been really excited about.
Oh, yeah, the big news.
In June of 2024, she announced that she's pregnant.
So exciting. It's moments like these that really cement that connection with her audience. They feel like they're going through these life events with her. I mean, who doesn't love a good pregnancy announcement, right?
Totally. It adds this whole new layer to her content and to her relationship with her followers.
And speaking of relationships, what about her business? Is the Just Kass shop still going strong?
Absolutely. It's still going strong, and it seems to be quite successful. It's a testament to her dedication and her passion for fashion. She didn't just create a brand and then forget about it. She's actively involved in running it and growing it. It's clearly more than just a side hustle for her.
She's a true entrepreneur. Okay, so we've covered the who, what, when, and where. Now, for the big question, the question that really matters, why? Why is she so influential? What is it about Kass Parker or Just Kass that resonates with millions of people, that makes them hit that subscribe button, that makes them double tap those likes, that makes them buy her clothes?
It's a great question, and I think a big part of it is this perceived sense of authenticity that she projects in a world where everything online can feel so, manufactured and curated and polished. She comes across as genuine. She's not afraid to share real moments from her life, whether it's family stuff, personal struggles, or even her journey as an entrepreneur.
She's letting people in.
Exactly. And that creates trust. It creates a connection. It makes her relatable to this huge audience who are, craving something real. They're tired of the fake perfection that's often presented online.
It's refreshing, for sure. And it's not just about being relatable. She's also juggling all these different roles. Content creator, part of this very public family, business owner, and now soon to be mom. I mean, that has to be inspiring to a lot of people, right?
Absolutely.
Wow.
She's a role model in a way. She shows that it's possible to have it all, or at least to try to have it all, and to do it all while still being yourself. And for a lot of people, especially young people who are just starting out, who are trying to figure out their place in the world, that can be incredibly powerful and inspiring.
She's like a walking, talking, content-creating testament to the fact that you can create your own path, balancing that with all of her professional endeavors.
Right, and speaking of which, what exactly does she do? I mean, I know she's a YouTuber, but she does a lot more than that.
Yeah, she's got her hands in a lot of different things.
Yeah.
So she actually started out on YouTube with her family on their channel called Not Enough Nelsons. They launched that in 2018.
Not Enough Nelsons. I love that.
It's very fitting.
It is very fitting. Yeah, so I mean, what kind of stuff did they do on that channel?
So they basically just showcased their daily life as a family.
So like vlogs and stuff?
Vlogs, they did skits, they did Q&As with their audience.
Oh, wow. So they really interacted with the fans.
Yeah, they were very interactive, and it really gave people like a really intimate look into what it's like to live in such a large family.
Wow, that's cool. And then what about her own channel? When did she start doing that?
So she launched her solo channel called Just Kass in 2019.
Okay, Just Kass, so a year after the family channel?
Yep, exactly.
And what kind of stuff does she do on her own channel?
Well, on Just Kass, she focuses more on fashion tips, lifestyle advice, and personal vlogs.
Okay, so a little bit more niche than the family channel.
Yeah, a little bit more tailored to her own personal interests.
Right.
But what's really interesting is how she blends like authenticity with really engaging storytelling.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of her trademark, right? Like she's very real, very relatable.
Yeah, she's not afraid to show like the ups and downs of her life.
Yeah, she's not afraid to be vulnerable.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's YouTube, but I know she also has like some business ventures going on, right?
Yes, she does.
Mm-hmm.
She actually launched her own online clothing boutique called Just Kass Shop in 2018.
2018, wow, so even before she launched her own YouTube channel.
Yeah, so she really had that entrepreneurial spirit right from the start.
It seems like she had a plan.
Yeah, for sure. And then in 2024, she collaborated with her family on another clothing brand called 16.
16, clever.
Yeah, very fitting.
Yeah. And is that online too?
It is online now. They're actually planning on opening a physical store in their local mall soon.
Wow, so they're going from online to brick and mortar.
Yeah, it's a big step.
That's a big step. That shows a lot of confidence in the brand.
Right.
Yeah. Wow, okay, so YouTube, 2 clothing brands, anything else?
Well, this is interesting. She actually released an original song in December of 2023 called Broken.
A song! Wow, she's like a triple threat.
Yeah, she's really multi-talented.
Wow. Okay, so we've talked about who she is and what she does, but when did she actually kind of become like a big name?
I'd say her rise to prominence really started with the launch of the Not Enough Nelsons channel in 2018.
Right, because that's when the whole world kind of discovered this big, crazy family.
Exactly. I mean, a family with 16 kids is pretty unique.
Yeah, it's definitely not something you see every day.
Right. And then launching her own channel, Just Kass, in 2019, really solidified her individual presence.
Yeah, it gave her a platform to really be herself and connect with an audience on a more personal level.
Yeah. And I think what's key here is that she really emphasized authenticity and relatability in her content.
Right, and I think that's what really drew people to her.
Yeah, because even though her life is kind of extraordinary in a way, she managed to make it feel very relatable.
Yeah, she's very down to earth.
Exactly. And of course, her entrepreneurial ventures with the Just Kass Shop and 16 definitely helped to boost her visibility.
Yeah, for sure. Having those businesses kind of gave her another platform to reach people.
Right. It kind of expanded her brand beyond just YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. So where is she now in her journey? What's she focusing on?
Well, she's still very active on both of her YouTube channels.
Okay, so she's still creating content regularly.
Yeah, she's posting vlogs, lifestyle videos, all that good stuff.
Awesome. And I know she recently became a mom, so how's she balancing that with everything else?
Yeah, that's a big life change, right? But she seems to be managing it all really well.
Good for her.
I mean, you know, she's still creating content. She's running her businesses. She's a wife. She's a mom.
She's a superwoman.
Pretty much. Oh, and she's also building a new home with her husband, Josh.
Oh, wow. So they're literally building a house.
They are.
That's a lot to take on. When are they planning on moving in?
They're planning on moving in early 2026.
Okay, so not too far off.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Wow. And what about the 16 brand? How's that doing?
Well, they're still doing really well online, and they're really excited about opening that physical store.
Yeah, I imagine that's going to be a huge step for them.
For sure.
Okay, so now for the big question. Why is she so influential? What is it about her that really resonates with people?
Well, I think a big part of it is her authenticity.
Right. We keep coming back to that.
Yeah, because it's so genuine. You really feel like you're getting a real glimpse into her life.
Yeah, and it's not just the good stuff. She shows the struggles, too.
Exactly. She's very open about the challenges she faces.
Yeah, and I think that makes her even more relatable.
Yeah, because it shows that she's human, just like the rest of us.
Exactly. And I think another reason she's so influential is because she's such a great role model.
Right. I mean, she's juggling so many different roles, and she's doing it all so well.
Yeah, and she makes it look effortless.
Right. She's like a content creator, an entrepreneur, a wife, and a mom.
And she's killing it in every area.
Yeah. And I think that's really inspiring to a lot of people.
Yeah, especially to young women who are trying to figure out how to balance their own lives.
Exactly. And let's not forget her entrepreneurial spirit.
Right. I mean, starting and running 2 successful businesses is no small feat.
Exactly. She's a real go-getter.
And I think her story really highlights the power of authenticity and resilience.
Right. She's not afraid to be herself, and she doesn't give up easily.
Yeah, and that's a really powerful message, especially in today's world.
So for everyone listening, think about what it is about Kass's journey that resonates with you.
Right. What is it about her story that you find inspiring or relatable?
Because I think there's a lot we can learn from her about personal branding and entrepreneurship in the digital age.
Right. She's kind of a trailblazer in a lot of ways.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I think that about wraps up our deep dive into the world of Kass Parker.
Yeah, we've covered a lot.
We have. We've seen how she went from being one of 16 kids to building a successful brand and becoming a real force in the online world.
And it all comes back to that authenticity and her willingness to be herself.
Yeah, exactly. So as you go about your day, think about what you can learn from her story. What aspects of her journey inspire you?
And what can you apply to your own life? Okay, so to wrap this all up, this deep dive into the world of Kass Parker, aka Just Kass, has been a fascinating journey. We've gone from her early days on YouTube, those DIY fashion videos, to the explosion of the Not Enough Nelsons channel, her foray into the world of TikTok, her clothing line, and now this exciting new chapter of motherhood. She's gone from being part of a massive family to building her own massive online family. And she's managed to do it all while staying true to herself, or at least to the version of herself that she presents online.
It's a remarkable story, for sure. And it really makes you think about the nature of online influence. What is it that draws us to certain people online? What makes us trust them, believe in them, support them? Is it authenticity? Is it relatability? Is it something else entirely? Is it just an illusion, this whole idea of authenticity online? These are the questions we want you to ponder. As you continue to scroll through your feeds, as you watch those videos, as you hit those like buttons, think about the people behind those screens. The real people with real lives, real struggles, and real triumphs, and ask yourself, what is it about them that makes them so influential?
If you loved this deep dive, make sure to hit like and subscribe for more behind-the-scenes stories of your favorite influencers. Drop a comment below who should we cover next. Stay curious, and see you next time.
Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget.